guys, happy Monday. Becky Thames here live for The Drive at 5. And oh my gosh, I have both my hands free today. This thing is like right in my face. But listen, I want to talk to you about how to find time to work your e-commerce business when you're working a 9 to 5. So as you guys know, I work a full-time career. And on top of that, I'm the boss. And so, you know, when you're the boss, everybody's like, look what the boss is doing, look what the boss is doing. So I'm going to share with you how I built my business 4 years now, online, working part-time. You know, Jim Rohn says I'm working full-time on my job and part-time on my fortune. Hey, Kendall, good to see you. And that is so true, guys. Full-time on my job and part-time on my fortune. That's from Jim Rohn. And I know when he first started, he was like, I don't want to like leave my job because that's part of my story. And it's part of my story too. And that's what I wanted to share with you. So I want to say, I know that I'm a rare bird. So let me just say that. I am a rare bird. Jen says, tell me the secret. I so need this. Well, first of all, I'm getting ready to go to my son's baseball game, and I'm sitting in my car and I'm talking to you. So the secret is you have to fit this business into the nooks and crannies of your life. I don't have 4 hours a day that I can sit down at one block of time to work my business. But what I can do, hey, Big Papa's watching. It's 6:10. He's at my other son's baseball game. I'm at the other son's baseball game. Hey, Big Papa. So I'm going to share with you how to do it. And what you have to do is you have to work it into the nooks and crannies of your life. So for example, I'm at the ball game watching or doing the drive at 5 with you. I listen to personal development every day. When I had my Tahoe, my car was a rolling library. My car's still a rolling library. I don't have DVD sets in here or DVD player, but I do have podcasts. I do have YouTube. I listen to something every single day. And not only that, I read something every single day. And you have to, because guys, there's so much negative things out there that pull you this way and pull you that way. I remember when I was like physically sending items into Amazon, we have this one stoplight in my town, and it feels like it takes forever to send your for that stoplight, right? And you know, sitting at that stoplight's a total waste of time. And so, you know, I have this one private label product that's like this big and it's flat. I would have it and I could get like 30 stickers on sitting at that one stoplight. And then when the car would, when the light turned green, I was going again and wasn't touching anything. For example, I started the drive at 5 because I wanted to multitask and share e-commerce knowledge with you. But I called it The Drive at 5 because when I got off work, I was planning on driving home and talking to you while I drive. But I quickly realized I get too excited and I can't do that. So now it's just going to be The Drive at 5 sitting in my car or wherever I'm at. Sometimes I'm sitting in the yard in front of my house because there's like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 boys outside playing or inside screaming at the PlayStation or the Xbox or whatever. So you have to fit it into the nooks and crannies of your life. So oh, this is a big one. Big Papa, if you're still watching, at one time when I first started, guys, my house was so dirty, and Big Papa liked stuff clean. No lie, he would come home from work because at that time he was working 24 hours and the house would be trashed, and he would get on Facebook and say, I'm gonna have to use a blower to clean this house. And I would be like, whatever. And at one time he looked me straight in the eye and he was like, Becky, are you gonna get up and clean this house? And I looked him in the eye and I was like, no, I'm not. I'm going to make this work no matter what. And guess what, guys? Now we pay somebody to bless our house. And you can do the exact same thing. But you have to make decisions. You have to make decisions to, you know, you have to decide what's more important. What are you going to give up now? And then look for the nooks and crannies. You know, when I was researching products, I would take my, my Mac, not my Mac, but my little computer, it's a Mac, but it's a laptop Mac. I would take that to work on my lunch break and I would research items to sell on Amazon on my lunch break because I didn't have time to, look and look and look. Now, I know that I can make more money if I spent more time researching items to sell online, but I prefer to learn more and more and teach you how to make your first dime online, because that makes me happy, because the products that I do have on Amazon, they're already selling. In fact, one of my mentors said, Becky, why do you want to teach a course? Why not just research more products? And researching more products, they don't fulfill me. I mean, the money comes in, it's great, but I'm not motivated by money. And when you're not motivated by money, I mean, I have an amazing career, two master's degrees. I'm a director at my company, make good money, not motivated by it, But I am motivated by helping you succeed and earning your first dime online. I remember when I ran like my first or second Facebook ad, someone said, let me see how they put it. They would like, well, I'll be a chimpanzee if you don't make more money telling people about how to sell on Amazon than you do on Amazon. And you know what I did? And I really shouldn't have stooped to this level, but I did. But I went and got my 1099Ks from Amazon. I was like 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017. I posted them all on there. Of course, I blocked out my personal information, and I said, nice to meet you, chimpanzee. And that's the kind of things that you have to do, guys. And so what I wanted to do is tell you just to look into the nooks and crannies of your life and find the little bits of time that you can do it. But first of all, guys, listen, it's going to take time. And this is one reason that I quit sharing my results, because they're so astronomical, because they're so big. And in our society, people think that they can start today and get to that point. And you can't. You cannot. And I don't want to sit here and say it was easy. In fact, I've been selling online for almost 19 years now. But when I first started selling on Amazon and I first got involved in a team, I was doing things without even knowing what I was doing. And what I mean by that is I had my head down. I was learning and watching videos and taking notes. And then I would go into this group, and if someone asked a question, I just answered it because I thought that's what you were supposed to do. So basically, I was providing value before I even knew what providing value was. And so I literally came at, Reginald was the owner of that group, and he was like, Becky, you just like showed up like bam out of the woodwork, because nobody saw what I was doing behind the scenes. They only see the end result. Well, Big Papa saw, but nobody else did behind the scenes to get me up to that point, to know how to answer these questions and know how to provide value. But one thing, and I want to tell you right now, guys, there are some amazing marketers out there. And I was brand new online, and I was learning as much as I could. And because there's so many great marketers out there, they could probably sell you a turd. They could polish a turd and I would buy it. And when I first started, I was buying everything. But it got to the point where I cannot learn everything, and you cannot learn everything. And I don't know everything about Amazon. I don't know everything about eBay, and I probably never will. But there was a year, let's see, this is 18, 17... I think it was 2016. I made a decision that I was not going to buy one thing. I was not going to buy one thing. And Sherry, I'm going to talk about that in a second. And the reason I didn't buy one, and there were some amazing things. It was the next best glitter bell whistle. You had to have this or your Amazon business was going to tank. And I didn't buy it. And guess what happened, guys? The year later in 2017, that same training that I really wanted, it came out bundled with something else, and it was bigger and better than the first one that came out. And I bought the training and took my Amazon business to a whole new level. So you don't have to buy it. I talked about this yesterday, that FOMO, the fear of missing out. It's real. It happens to me. It happens to everybody. And granted, there are some things that I have not done and the price went up and I just paid the higher price. But when you do buy something, whenever you do buy something, you're going to have to invest time to learn it. Now, one thing that I do invest in is mentorship and coaching, because it helps me save time by cutting all the corners not cutting the corners, but taking the shortcuts and learning from their mistakes. And that's one thing that I do invest in. I feel like a professional webinar watcher. That is a really, really good statement, but listen, is that professional webinar watching putting money in your bank account? And the answer is no. It is not an IPA or income producing activity. So if you're going to watch a webinar, you're either going to need to do something with the information that you learn. Right then, you need to do something. But most of the webinars are going to try and sell you something. I have a webinar myself, but when at the end, when I say, hey, this is the private label course, you learn the right product, the right price, the right place, the right promotion. I'm not just doing that to say, hey, I want you to take action. I want you to be on the first page of Amazon. I'm not saying, come buy my stuff, buy my stuff. Sherry, I mean, I know I'm saying that, but I'm just saying that I did it too. And I want you to learn, if you really want to take your Amazon business to a next level, you need to quit watching all of these trainings. And another thing that I find is that people they might be listening to My Drive at 5, and which is cool, but listen, guys, it's cool that you watch My Drive at 5, but if you don't take action on something that you learn here, it's not IPA, it's not income producing activity, but that's just something you to do. And when you work a 9 to 5, you get that extra income that you can invest in your e-commerce business. Invest more money. And I do that a lot. I invested back in my business and back in my business. So that's something you can do. Okay, this one's huge. Focus. Guys, you have to focus. There are so many ways to make money on Amazon. You can do drop shipping. You can do retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, wholesale, private label. But if you only do one, I want you to follow a system, basically, because if you try to do all of them, you're going to end up neglecting something. And the thing that I neglected was my health, and that's why I gained 50 pounds. So that's why I'm on here all the time. Follow a system, follow a system, follow a system, so that you can get the fast path to your results instead of neglecting something like maybe your health or your family or whatever else you might be neglecting. So I want to tell you about that. Patience. Patience is another thing, guys. Success does not happen overnight. What did I say? You can't compare my story to where you're walking in at right now. So maybe you're just now watching me. You can't do that. And sometimes another thing, just before I jumped on here, I got an email and it was like, Becky, you are so persistent. And the reason that email came out is because I automated my autoresponder. So if you're on my email list, you probably get an email from me. I remember when I first got on an autoresponder list, I'm like, wow, I feel so special. They emailed me at 4 o'clock in the morning. They were up, this one list that I was on. No, they automated their system so that they're out living their life and the emails are just going out. And so that's what I want you to do too, is once you learn something, automate that system. Like my emails are automated. If you get on my list, you get the same one today. If you jump on, and if you've jumped on multiple ones of my list, when I do send out a broadcast or schedule it, you probably get 20 emails from me, like boom, 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 boom. I'm on all my lists with all my emails, and so whenever, I don't know, 8 o'clock in the morning or whenever I send one out, my phone will go ding, 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 and it's like all my things on the list. So I know they're working, for one, because you always got to check, right? That's my quality control on my own list to make sure that I receive it myself. So that's another thing. The big O, overwhelm. That's a whole new subject. I'm going to talk about that at a later date, but I told someone last week, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And the lady that just wrote me a letter, she wrote back and said, you're very persistent, but I'm scared because I spent, like $35,000 on another training. That was a scam. Guys, that's very unfortunate. I am so sorry. My heart goes out to everybody. I know someone that has purchased my training that spent thousands of dollars on another training, and my heart just hurts that they could have gotten it for 1/50th of the price that they paid. But you live and you learn, and sometimes you have to have what you call sunk cost, and that means you drop the money on some training or on a product or something, and you have to kind of forget that and move on to the next thing. And only you can decide what that is. You can't say, oh, I spent X amount over here and I'm not gonna get closer over there. You have to decide. It's kind of like once bitten, twice shy. I understand that, but it's a decision that you have to make on your own. I remember ClickFunnels. I remember when I was learning how to use ClickFunnels, guys, I wanted to hit my computer with a hammer again, but I got it now. I can just whip through that ClickFunnels. But what happened with that is I spent all weekend, one weekend, I was like, I'm going to get it, I'm going to do it, when I should have just broke it up into little bite-sized pieces. So I needed to take some of my own medicine there where I was learning ClickFunnels. So just look for gaps in your calendar and, bring that laptop to lunch. I like to smile and dial, right? I love to talk on the telephone. So on my lunch break, I remember when I first started, I was calling people to ask if they were interested in learning how to sell on Amazon and eBay, and I was smiling and dialing. That would probably be my dream job, is just call people all day long and just talk to them and listen to them, because people will tell you, they'll tell you what their pain points are. And Janine says, I got overwhelmed this weekend and decided to set a restart. That's right, Janine. I've gotten overwhelmed. Everybody gets overwhelmed, but you have to take it in small little pieces. I remember when I went to take the hammer and beat my computer. But guys, it's like this. Let's say that you want to be a surgeon, and you start out and you're like, I'm gonna do heart surgery. But no, guys, you have to go through school. Maybe you start out as a nurse's aide, maybe you become an LPN, maybe an RN, and then you become a doctor, and then you get emails that say Amazon has shipped the item you sold. I swear I don't plan these. I'm gonna take a screenshot one day. Then you become a doctor, and then you become a surgeon, and that's what, like a 8-year commitment right there, just to become a surgeon. But yet people come in and want to have $1 million product in a month, and it's not going to happen, guys. It might. I'm not going to say never. It might happen, but I don't know. I just wouldn't bank on it. Okay. If there's something that you can do today to save even just a little bit of time later, do that. And I remember when I first started, every other question was, tell me about why PayPal won't release my funds right away. And if you're selling on eBay, PayPal will not release your funds immediately until you've had $25 in sale, 25 sales, $250 in sales, and you've waited 90 days. If I had $1 for every time I typed that out, I would be a millionaire right now, right? So my cousin was a doctor. He spent 10 years and does it part-time because it burns him out. That's right, guys. So what I did was I automated my process, and I typed that out, and now I just say, hey, go to this website, and it'll tell you about PayPal. Hey, go here. And it's much easier than typing out, oh, you have to have 25 sales, $250 in sales, and waiting 90 days. I did something today, or back then I did something one time that I could repeatedly send people to, and it saved me like 5 minutes every day. So that's another thing. Guys, I don't watch TV. I don't want to say I never watched TV, because I just watched, I binge watched This Is Us. But if you know what's going on Game of Thrones, if you know, I remember like at one time there was this show, Scandal. I'd never heard of Scandal. I remember my very first year getting involved in network marketing. I didn't even know who won American Idol. I was like, who's that? And they were like, oh, he's the winner of American Idol. I didn't have a clue who the dude was, because I don't care. And when you start being laser focused on a dream and something that you're passionate about, that's when you're going to get what you want, right? And then let's say, I see a lot of times, and I did this myself. I remember when I hired my first coach, and Pam, if you're watching, girl, I'm so sorry. I spent more time trying to figure out what to title my Amazon training than I thought about the content that went in it. That was the first time. I totally failed because I wasn't ready. Pam was ready. She wasn't ready. She was teaching me everything I needed to know, but I was a student and I wasn't ready to listen. So when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So that's what I wanted to share today. I know that's pretty long. I'm off to watch my son's baseball game. So I hope you all have a very happy Monday. This is how I built my business, working it in the nooks and crannies of my life. Listen, for self-development, I have a speaker in my shower, because taking a shower, total waste of time. I have a pillow speaker that goes under my pillow that I listen to. I listen in my car. I listen on my lunch. Hi, Jackie. I listen on my lunch break. So what I want you to do, if you find that this video will like or will help someone that's in e-commerce or in any kind of sidepreneur business, and they're working 9 to 5 and they're trying to figure out a way to, get out of the everyday hustle, send them this, share this video with them, tell them about me, tell them to like me on Facebook, go over to YouTube, and let them start listening to me every day as well, because I promise you guys, it will, the more you listen, it will just like sink in, and you'll start saying, yeah. And then I'll start getting more messages like, thanks to you, you're the reason I made a sale on eBay, or I made 4 sales on eBay, or I made XYZ. So Heather, I'm glad you like it. Cherry, thank you so much. I hope you all have an amazing night. I'm going to watch my son play ball. Bye.